Hello and welcome to the God is a Geek podcast. My name is Adam Cook and I am your host, and once again this week, if you are just listening, we are trying to do it via video recording, and that means that just over there somewhere is Adam Carroll.
Hi.
I mean, Adam, it does sort of spoil the surprise of who's on the episode when you can see them, doesn't it?
It does.
Because like down below me, which again doesn't work for audio, down below me, reporting from the helicopter is Christopher White.
Hello. How's it going?
For a minute, I thought he was just going to wave. I was like, that doesn't work. You have to. And just over that way is Gary T over there. How are you, Gary? All right?
Hi, I'm okay. Thanks.
Good man. Good man. We are here to talk about video games as we do every week. And sometimes there's a smattering of food thrown in there for good measure. Everyone all right for a start? And this is going to look amazing because hopefully my old trick of making you all speak at once, I'm just going to go, is everyone all right?
Yes.
Hay fever.
Yep.
All right.
No, hay fever is very much in effect. Here's a question for you. Did you know you can get hay fever later in life? You don't have to always have had it.
Mm-hmm. That's what happened to me.
And
I didn't have hay fever until I was in my 20s. And then just got worse and worse as I got older.
I'm jealous of that because I've had hay fever all my life. I've gone through countless rolls of toilet paper.
And hay fever as well, yeah?
Yeah.
I just hate it. It hurts my eyes, it hurts my nose, it hurts my spirit, it hurts my life.
It's my spirit. Wow. I didn't know I had it until one evening I opened the back door to basically come to where I am sat right now, and there was this smell, and I thought, what is that horrible smell? And my
hay
wife
fever.
told me it's pollen. And I can't describe that smell. I don't know. As you two over there.
Yeah, I know what you mean, but yeah, I have no idea how you.
It's just overwhelming. Do you know what? When pollen comes into my life now, if I get a whiff of it, it's an immediate like I need to get out of here. I need to run. I need to escape because it's so overwhelming on my like nose and throat that it's just the worst. I wouldn't wish it on anyone. It's just desperate.
Well, Christopher White, I'm guessing your silence says that you are absolutely
I've
fine.
got the Chuck Norris of immune systems.
I saw a news story pop up the other day. I thought that someone said he died.
Oh God!
Oh no! He'll
And
never
then at
die.
the end of it says, but after recovering from death, he was just fine. You absolutely got me. You got me good. But it was from someone who doesn't normally put that sort of jokey stuff on Facebook. It was like, you got me good. We are here to talk about video games, as I say, and what finer person than to start with than to say Mr. Carroll, who is clearly doing something off camera there.
Never mind. Well, I'm trying to pour my coffee without
Pouring
something,
his
but now it
beverage.
looks like I'm taking a piss or something.
No,
but,
no. You make it ASMR for the viewers.
Absolutely. Yeah. What have you been up to? What have you been playing?
Okay, so starting off here, I've been playing quite a bit, but
Really?
I think first off, anyway, I'll start off with Predator Hunting Grounds.
Well, that makes sense because Chris reviewed it as well, so you can both.
Yeah,
I've been kind of looking at this going, I like the idea behind these games, and I like the Predator.
I'm really enjoying it the more I've been playing it. Because like Chris, you gave it a 6.5?
Yes. Yeah.
I think I would definitely agree with everything that you said in that review, but then I think it was maybe 2 or 3 days after that review went up, they released a patch. Now I can't
Right. Okay.
if I don't know what number it is, but anyway, they released a patch that's after kind of buffing the Predator, which was a huge issue for a lot of people because they were just saying that the Predator was quite weak when he would like be up against all the soldiers and stuff. So for anyone who doesn't know, it's 4v1, 4 soldiers against the Predator, and I think like early impressions first anyway was this game looks rough at times.
Visually, like it doesn't look graphically good. Do you mean, or it's just like?
No, not like
really?
It's not like atrocious, but there are moments of like the environment that. Now, see, I don't know if this is like the main design in a way because it's supposed to like hide the Predator in the trees and stuff. Because like, if you don't know the Predator, like his whole thing, he's after you. He's trying to kill all your squad, and there's NPCs around the place that kind of interfere with the whole thing. But like, it's the trees really that are the problem, because at times when you're looking at the environment, I gotta say, looks kind of PS2. Now,
yeah, it's not great. I see what you're saying.
Yeah, that it's not great, but I don't know if they didn't say in the patch that they fixed the visuals or anything like that, but it just seems to be a bit of an improvement on it at the moment. And I think starting off, there's a lot of things that they throw at you that you don't really kind of understand why or how this is happening or what's going on here. And it's not like the game is overly challenging, especially as the soldier. But you mentioned this in your review, Chris. When you start up the main menu, you have the tutorial option. Okay.
Yeah.
It's only just a predator.
Yes.
And okay, fair enough. We definitely need that. But when you want to play as the soldier, as you're kind of going, okay, cool. The only way I can do this and learn it is by jumping into a game. But this is a weird thing straight away because you're jumping in, and for anyone that is currently playing the game or is after putting 10 hours into it so far, and then here comes me, hey, what's up, guys? And you're running in, you're not after mudding up anything, which, by the way, you do at the very beginning.
You can do that, can you?
Yes, so you look at the ground.
I like that idea.
Yeah, you look at the ground, you hold down square, and it gives you XP of 16. Well, I think it does. I have an XP buff at the moment, but it gives you around that much. And you have to do it throughout the match, the 15 minutes, and it's
for those listening, not watching, a child has just sort of crept by Chris. It won't work in audio form, but it really, I couldn't help laughing. Sorry.
And see, I started laughing because you started laughing at
me. I just.
Predator. So you can mud up and stuff, but the thing is, I jumped in as the soldier, and I just didn't know what was going on because the thing about it is this game goes very fast. As I said, it's 15 minutes per round, but you have a certain, there's only 3 maps, and you have objectives that are kind of randomized throughout each mode. And I think a lot of that stays fresh. I don't think I have repeated many objectives throughout the amount. I definitely have, but it's not gotten to a repetitive stage anyway so far. But I was running in and I was having to learn what's this currency that's there that I'm picking up? Does everyone get it? How do I tag things? How do I see where the predator is? All these questions are going through my mind, so much so that I just wish I had a tutorial I had for Predator.
So as the military guys, right? Do you have skills, or is it just a FPS at this point?
There is, so you get
do you have classes within the soldiers.
There's classes, that you unlock. Okay. Now, the unlocks are actually really probably one of the best parts of it. They're actually quite. I'm addicted to kind of unlocking a lot of the stuff at the moment, and there's tons to unlock. I think there's 4 different classes, Assault, Recon, and I can't remember the other 2 at the moment. And then everything is locked. You start off with, if you go in as Assault, you have the choice of 3 guns maybe, and you use that gun to upgrade it in levels. So I have an assault rifle at the moment. I went up to level 10. I think that's the max level on it. And then you can unlock the attachments, scopes, and laser dot sights and all these kind of things. And
sorry.
All right, you carry on. Well, hang on, but before you get into the upgrade system, I have a question that either of you can answer, right? I tell you what's put me off, right? Mm-hmm. So this, elephant in the room, it sounds like Evolve, right? There's a monster that's supposedly much more powerful, and then there's your gang of 4. Mm-hmm. The problem with this that comes to mind for me is that the thing about, because I feel like there should be a really good Predator game by now. The idea of the Predator is amazing.
Apparently,
good game.
Just to clarify there's a lot of people saying since this came out that they want Predator Concrete Jungle to be remastered. Now, I've never played that game, but that actually has a fan base. So whether that's how good it is, I don't know.
But the thing I was going to say, sorry, about the Predator, right? It's not. So think about Alien Isolation, okay? What made the alien in that game good, right? Mm. You didn't know it was coming. And it genuinely felt like the AI for that alien was random. It wasn't scripted. It wasn't like Resident Evil 3 Nemesis. That you could play that a second time and he ain't going to shock you. You know where he's coming from. The thing about Predator is that you never see it coming. Like in the films, in the lore, you don't know it's coming for you. So the characters in that movie don't know what's going on. They're being picked off. Whereas in this, it's right there. You know from the very start, I'm playing as a human. There's a predator in the jungle somewhere with me.
Yeah, I know what you mean, but like the thing about that is like, how do you do that?
No, I know, absolutely fair.
That's the thing. I have to say, like, regarding the Predator fanfare that's put into it, I think it's unreal. Like, yes, maybe some people have said, "Oh, I'd love if I could play as Dylan or whoever in it." You know, like some characters, like how they did with Friday. They put in some Friday the 13th characters. This is Ilphonic, same developer and stuff. So
yeah,
but like at the end of the day,
seems to be their thing right now, doesn't it? This is.
Yeah, like they can obviously go further with this. There's so much more content already in this Predator game than there is in Friday. Yeah, just with the upgrades, as I said, and stuff. But regarding the Predator situation, now that's a huge thing to talk about as well. But when you are the soldier and you hear the Predator, like I wear headphones all the time playing this game because it actually does a great job of, like, in your left or right, hearing where it's coming from and stuff, and you can hear the rustling in the trees, and like as Predator you can use like sound decoys and things like that to make you kind of paranoid and stuff. That's all great. And when the Predator is like, there's been a few occasions where I'm wondering where he is, and next minute behind me I can hear this like thumping, this running. And when I turn around, all I can see is that, like, do you know, that like that invisible cloak that he has on, and Predator runs in and just like slaughters you. And I mean, like, if Predator gets you there and then, you're definitely dead if you're not by your crew, which is a very important factor of the game. Is the four of you really have to stick together and work as a team, like, but you shouldn't really like be bunched up like smelling each other's arse. Do you know what I mean? You should be like, you should.
Putting it.
Yeah,
that was the first came in my head right there.
A million choices came to you, and you went with that one.
But you have to like kind of spread out in a medium range, because the Predator has a kind of an ability that he can jump down from the tree and like do this like slam, and it can kill you all in one go, kind of. Right. Now, the Predator itself, I don't play as the Predator much in this game, which is kind of like, it sounds like it's defeating the purpose of the game, but I'll be honest and say that I'm just really poor at playing as Predator.
I don't think it helps when you try and get on and play as a Predator. It takes in excess of 10-15 minutes to even become the Predator. And then when you finally become the Predator, yes, you've got that stuff from the tutorial that you've picked up on, but there's other stuff that it doesn't tell you in that tutorial. Like, I didn't know until about 3 times of playing as a Predator that you can, like, you know, in Friday when you can see campmates in the distance or hear them with that red kind of haze, that you can press a button on the controller, and that happens in this, so that makes it easier for you to know where they are. I was just going off the little kind of scanner in the bottom of your screen that's got like the kind of hexagonal pattern in, and then you kind of go off that flashing up to kind of direct you to where they are, not that in your menus.
That's funny, because I'm going off of the kind of radar that's at the side, where it's like a sound gauge, basically. If you hear gunshots and whatever angle the Predator's facing, it'll start like going crazy. And that's the kind of idea surrounding it, is that like when you're Predator, you start off, you just need to find these guys, and they could be anywhere in the map. So you're kind of like going through the trees and stuff, which I have to say works really well.
It does.
Like if you're going to compare something like an Assassin's Creed, say, where you're doing traversal through the trees and things like that, like it's good. It's very like smooth. It's not overly complicated. It automatically will just jump from tree to tree, and there's fun in it. My problem here is that anytime I play Predator and I see the lads running around the place, I panic and I jump down and make a complete shit of it. That's just what ends up happening. I just jump down and my cloak is there. I'm standing there in full view of the lads going, "Oh, how's it going?" And then I try to run away, and I'm all over the shop, because, you know, that's just what it is. And the tutorial is just the same thing over and over. Like, I'd love to just, like, I think what I have to do is jump in with maybe a couple of friends, like, and like
it'd be a million times.
And just go, give me a few minutes, give me a few minutes just to get the hang of this properly, you know, because like when you're in there,
isn't that every multiplayer game though?
It is, but like the Predator has a lot going on, like and the button mapping is, it's a bit weird because there's a lot of using the D-pad and your triggers and stuff like that, and there's a lot of recharging the cloaks, and there's a lot happening in the space of like when all you want to do is just find the people and jump in. Now, when there's somebody who is actually good at Predator, it is unreal. It is so good. Just similar to Friday, like, see, Friday has hit a point where it's just like, there's no more coming out of that game because of the fucking case and stuff that's happening with it. So people are at their max of what they can actually do with Jason. With the Predator, people are like, there's so many moments I've had where my team are all in a room and we're caught, and like you can just see what's really cool is the laser, that famous laser that the Predator has. You can just see him like scoping that out, and you could hear the sounds, and we're on edge. Do you know what I mean? Everyone's on edge, afraid to run out, because if one person goes and tries to do the objective, they're either like completely goosed or they're going to be an absolute hero and make it the whole way. So there's those moments and those beats that happen. I don't know, like, it's a hard sell for everyone, this game, especially in the height of what's out there for online purposes. I think there's definitely a bright future for the game if they keep like patching it and like adding more things here and there. And personally, like, the hours that I've given to the game, I'm not bored yet, and I'm still playing it. I'm not saying this is an essential game by any stretch, but I think I'm just a fan of Ilphonic's attempt at these kind of like licenses. Like, I love what they did with Friday. I love what they're going for with Predator, and what I've, like, as time's gone on and learning what's happening, I'm having the most fun being the soldier. And what's really enjoyable is being a soldier, you just don't have dickheads with you right now. Do you know what I mean? I'm not like, the game is designed where like, you don't have a guy. I've had once or twice one person who just stands at the map and just doesn't move. And I'm just like, why are you doing that? What's the purpose of you standing there? But everyone gets XP, you see, if you're just in the game. So if someone goes off and progresses and starts doing the objectives or whatever, you'll get XP. But that hasn't happened much. Everyone is up for playing it together, waiting for each other, dropping ammo packs, medi packs, etc. So it's fun. The matchmaking once again is atrocious though, and that's a real kicker. Is that like you're waiting? It says like how long you'll wait for the fire team, Predator, or just like randomized. No preference is what it is. Like no preference is like usually at like 45 seconds. Fire team is at like 30 seconds, and then Predator could be ranging from 5 minutes to 11.
Jesus.
Yeah. So like I'm not bothered by that as much because, as I said, the fire team is my go-to. Yeah, I'm loving it. Like I think it's really cool. I love the fan service, and I'm very addicted to it right now.
Fair enough. Anything else? I mean, you sounds like I would just say it seems weird to me that in a game called Predator Hunting Grounds, you're saying I really like playing as the fire team. I get it. I get it. Like, that to me makes me question the shelf life of this game, because
I just think if you had more of an opportunity to play as a Predator,
right,
you'd learn its kind of moveset inside out. Because there's not even a like with Friday where you can go in single player and play like the online experience, but on you like against bots
or something. Yeah,
wow, because by doing that, at least you could get used to the Predator completely, so that when you do go online, you don't look like a chump.
Yeah,
you don't want to be dying like within seconds of the game. You want to enjoy those 15 minutes. You want to feel like the Predator. You want to embody that, and like you want to be stalking them out. Like I had loads of fun just standing on top of buildings and just watching them move without even acting. They don't know I'm there, but I do, and it's dead exciting. But you just need more practice.
Health. So say like that. What you've described there sounds cool. Like the idea of almost, you know, like what in our heads what Assassin's Creed was supposed to be, where you are, like you say, stalking your prey and then done. The thing is, I get the feeling that if you go up against, say, us four, and we've been practicing as a fire team and we're decent at it, I get the feeling we could actually, if we stick together, take a Predator down. So the idea is of all this prep work, like you say, the cool shit where you're stalking them, then suddenly you go, right, I'm going in, oh, I'm dead. They've killed me. I'm a Predator.
The thing is, your best attack is a ranged attack. You don't. The thing is,
so you don't want to be getting in there, really.
You don't need to get in there. Like Adam was saying, your best bet is to stick together relatively close. But sometimes you will naturally just strafe away. And that's all about your planning. Like that's when you will go to the ground and use your blades. Whereas when you're from above, you could use like your rockets, like what Adam was saying with the lasers looking down. You can shoot them from there. You get other weapons later on and stuff like that. And even if you do get injured, you've got like a syringe or something that you can find a quiet spot, inject it into yourself and you'll heal. You can also eat. There's like wild boar running around. You can grab them and eat them as a predator. So there's ways to replenish your health, but there's only so much time to play it in. So it is quite a strategic game, really.
You have like the revival system as well, and I have to say, right, there's one feature in it where if your team goes down, say you could possibly be the last person standing. There could be 3 of you and 1 of you are gone. It opens up a new objective on the map where it could have like 200, 300 meters away. A kind of a radio thing where you can revive your team to come back in.
Yeah, now, that is good.
That's really fun because I do that every time because I just feel like an absolute champion when I succeed doing it, and I just feel like, oh yeah, I got you back, and like it's a huge risk with the predator running after you. The only thing is though, I wish I could like you can tag certain things. The tagging system's a bit weird because when you tag ammo boxes and all that stuff, that gives you XP, but like. If you're looking up in the trees and you see like predator running around the place, which looks amazing when you are at the right angle, it just looks so cool. You see everyone like pointing their weapon up, and you press up on the D-pad to tag, and everyone's just fucking tagging these.
It's a branch. It's a bird.
Because as soon as they tag, the predator's on the other side of the map already. Like you know, it's hilarious.
See, it's just what I was thinking about, like online games, like you saying, like with Predator and that.
Yeah.
You're really digging this, and it sounds like, Chris, you know, again, it's that world of people think, 6.5 is rubbish, but you're saying it's a good game. It's just not like...
Yeah, Sea of Thieves, always that kind of, like, that was a 7 or whatever. Doesn't mean it's a shit game, it just means there are flaws to it, but you can appreciate the game.
Definitely.
But the reason I ask is because, like, obviously, you two are enjoying it. Gaz, I know you haven't played it and I haven't played it. But the game I continuously think about, keep saying to you guys, hey, we should all get this. It's free. We should try and do something with it. Call of Duty Warzone, right?
Yeah.
Have you seen what they've been doing with this? Like, this sounds incredible. Like, they've taken the Battle Royale, and it sounds like where everyone initially was like, yeah, like was it Blackout mode last year?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and I want to say, back then people were like, they've just copied. Yeah, they'll take Apex's pinging system, like you said with Predator's got that. But everything about Warzone, I keep hearing like it sounds amazing.
I heard like, is there some new mode after coming into that game, or has it been there since day one? I don't know. But I heard about this recently. Does Warzone have a feature where if you're the last person standing and you go to call in your team, if you go to like fucking bring them back to life, I'm sure they do this thing where once you ring up or call them in, every other team sees you on the map.
Yes, I think so. There's also, like,
and then everyone runs too. That sounds hilarious and terrifying.
There's also, I think it's a gulag where if you die early, you actually get thrown into like a prison with all the other people who've died early, and it's kind of like last one you've all got like a gun, and basically if you win, you get back into the match. So all this stuff sounds amazing.
Oh, wow.
So like that's what I mean. Like we're describing Predator and definitely saying you're enjoying it. But I just keep thinking about Warzone as like, how weird that, to me, in my head, it sounds like Call of Duty's the one doing different stuff.
Yeah.
And just, this is not an advert for Activision's game. We should play it. I fell off that game hard, and everyone seems to say it's like the best Call of Duty in years. Like, we don't even need one this year, you know?
Yeah. Like, the only reason I say Predator is because it is Predator and I just love it. But like, I went to get Warzone the other night, but I had to it was telling me I had to delete every single thing that was on my PlayStation to download it.
It's up to 200 gig, I think.
And like
the other day, the patch was 15 gig.
Yeah.
And people are genuinely complaining. This is ridiculous. There was a point where every time it had an update, you had to re-download the client. I think what's happening with that game is that Activision are kind of being quite forward-thinking in that next gen, I think, we'll be able to download the multiplayer, the co-op, the single player, the Warzone, but at the moment it doesn't quite work perfectly. I think they're working. I think they have actually done it.
So is it Warzone in like teams of 3 or teams of 4?
I haven't even played it. This is what I'm saying. It's crazy.
Maybe we should get on that.
I played it briefly. Like when it first came out, I thought, I'll give it a go. Yeah, but I mean, it was like 100 gig or something when I first downloaded it.
That's because it downloads the whole game, but Warzone is all you can play, if that makes sense.
Yeah, but it was good for what I played. I mean, I'm just crap at it because I've always been bad at Call of Duty anyway. But it's fun, and the gulag thing was interesting. You know, it's like you die, and it kind of, rather than you all being in fighting at the same time, it does like 1v1.
Yeah.
And the others can watch from above, kind of thing.
That's right. That's it. Yeah,
it's a good idea, but again, I'm shit at Call of Duty, so I was never going to win.
That's my fear too.
Yeah, but like I'm one of these. We
can all be shit together.
That's what I mean. It kind of, if you're just chatting away, it doesn't really.
That's what we call our team. Shit together.
Not better together, shitter together. Adam, anything else you've been playing, mate?
Very quickly, I want to mention a game that is definitely something I never thought I would play. I have been playing Snowrunner. Look at that face!
I didn't expect that one.
I
thought you were going to say Daymare.
Well, I have played that too, but
I mean,
I know Gaz reviewed that, so we'll talk. I'll just chime in with that.
Yeah,
but Snowrunner, hey,
the floor is
yours. What's happening? I've been indoors too long. I'm driving trucks.
Anything to get outside.
Snowrunner.
Honestly, I thought that you were going to say a game that isn't even on the list. It was like some surprise. Like
I have another game, but I'll wait till I finish it. But anyway, look, I'll finish off here with Snowrunner. I have no idea why I had a feeling to play this. Do you know, one time in my life, right? One time in my life, I was sitting in my sitting room. I vividly remember it was a cold winter evening, and I was sitting there.
Story time with Adam.
Listen, but I was sitting there, and all of a sudden, I just went like this, and I went, oh, and why do I crave that? And all of a sudden, I craved a lettuce sandwich. Okay, so I went out and got a piece of bread, lettuce, and salt.
You've got to say, right, he's good for them. He's good for it, isn't he? Like,
he is. He's
never
fully selling this.
He never lets you down. It's always.
So I got a lettuce sandwich. I got a lettuce sandwich. Right? Went out and had it, and like at first, I like when I was eating it, I thought, am I becoming like Arnold Schwarzenegger and Junior? Am I pregnant or something? Like, what's the story here?
Just a lettuce sandwich. Just to be completely clear about this.
Just bread, a lettuce sandwich with bread and salt, right? And I was like,
not even butter or anything like that.
No, just lettuce, salt, and bread.
You're saying SALT. You're saying the word salt.
Yeah. Am I saying it weird?
Salt is good with lettuce, actually. Just bring out some flavour.
Salt and lettuce are
Not
good.
that there's much flavour in lettuce, but it brings out some of it.
Clearly outvoted. Please continue.
So I had it, and it was lovely, right? But why did I crave that? I'll never know. Then all of a sudden, you bring me to this time of my life, and I see Snowrunner. And I just went, oh, what the fuck? What's these games? And before I knew it, I was downloading it, right? Downloaded Snowrunner, the truck driving game. Apparently, the sequel to Mudrunner.
Mudrunner, spin tires.
Gone out of the way. No, I'll tell you straight off the bat, there's a lot of fucking mud in this game too. So where's the snow?
Yep, it takes a while to get to the snow.
Takes a while to get to that damn snow. I didn't know what to expect in this game. I thought like it was just going to be like, do you know, like a flight simulator style thing where it's just like truck heads are just going to be like, love driving me a truck and just driving around and reversing that truck and hearing those beeps. Like I thought it was all that business. And there was all these objectives. I was actually really curious as well when I booted it up, like, is there going to be a story? There is no story, but I would have laughed if there was.
The trailer suggests there is, though, Gaz, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. I mean, when you sent me a link to that trailer,
it really does.
It's a real cinematic trailer. Yeah. And there's none of that in the game.
Oh.
But it was I don't know, it was genius marketing, though.
Well, I laughed because as soon as I said new game or whatever it was, I started it, and then I was just in a little pickup truck. And it was just, that's it, off you go. It was like, okay. And first impression, I couldn't get over. I didn't know what I was doing wrong. I felt like I was doing something wrong, guys, because I was like, what truck goes at this pace? How does anyone get work done at this pace? Like, And then as it went on, I went, okay, this is the situation. This is what's going down. You're struggling through all this terrain. It has, like, everyone's going, oh, Death Stranding with trucks. It's like, oh, hilarious, whatever. But maybe that's why I think I'm actually playing this game, is because I've gone through Death Stranding.
You wanted Kojima's truck simulator.
I actually feel like I have, because I do, as I've stated, I like Death Stranding, and I loved doing that. I love just walking around and delivering stuff. And maybe it's just that it's a gimmick that, like, I find relaxing or something. I have been playing a lot of Snowrunner. I am enjoying it. Surprisingly,
it's a game that deserves more love than it gets. I think.
I tell you, right? I like, the map opens up and there's so much to do, and it's actually quite. It's very challenging, actually. Like, because of situations where I was like, oh, I'm completely stuck here. Like, what's the story? What am I going to do? Like, I tried to get, and it sounds really poor, this, but like I don't know how to sell this game to make it sound good, but, you know, like, there was a truck stuck in a swamp. I put out my winch, I got it, and I mean, it took me 10 to 15 minutes to get that truck out. And when I got it out, I felt so good. I felt so goddamn good. I was like, that was amazing. That was satisfying. There are moments where the game at nighttime feels like I'm driving through Twin Peaks. I
could see that.
It is very bizarre how it does that. I get why people like these games now. I understand it completely. It has oceans of content. So much goddamn content.
You open that first map. Yeah, you open up that first map and you're like, this is huge. And then you realise that's only like a quarter of one area. And then you go to another area, there's the same amount of content for each area. And I think there was 3 areas in the game.
There's 3 areas, yeah. And I was only like, I think you're like 3-4 hours maybe into the first area before they go, here, hop off into Alaska there for yourself. And I'm like, no, not yet. I'm not ready. I'm not ready. I have so much to do. And I'm still in the first map constantly. My only real issue I have with this game, it's either for you or like, this game.
God, you got to watch the video edition of this podcast for that moment. I wasn't expecting that. Sorry, Adam.
No, look, this game is not for everyone. It's a niche market. You either play it and you kind of get a bit of like a therapeutic kind of thing from it, or you're just like, this is shit. I couldn't be wasting my time playing this crap. I get it both sides. I'm just up for it. My only issue is, Gaz, and you can definitely see this, the menu systems are all over the fucking shop. Adam Cook is dead.
I feel like we should explain what just happened for the listeners who aren't watching. But out of nowhere, Chris just pulled up a fucking 2-litre bottle of something, and it just absolutely silently. And this should be premium content, man. You
video games now, though. Hang on a second before I lose my train of thought. The menu in Snowrunner, guys. Yes. Is all over the shop in ways. I think, like, when they're telling you to, like, I can't remember the word to use, but, like, bring back your vehicles to, like, the garage to get them over to the next city or whatever. Yeah. All that is insanely confusing. It's a bit stupid, if I'm honest. And even
it takes a while to get into, because I mean, I think I found it a bit easy because I'd played Mudrunner, and
fair enough.
The majority of it is the same. It's just some of it is more streamlined in this, because if I remember right, in Mudrunner, you couldn't do the quick winch like you can in Snowrunner. So you couldn't just press triangle, winch to the nearest thing and go. You'd have to go into your D-pad menu, select the winch, select what you wanted to winch. And it was same with like when you load up a trailer as well. Like in this one, you just go, okay, I want that, load it. Whereas in Mudrunner, you had to do it by hand, or rather by like crane. You'd have to do it with wonky physics as well, trying to lift like a log that's swinging everywhere as you go. It was a pain, but there's a lot of sort of quality of life improvements. But
apparently,
the menus are still like, if you don't know what you're doing, you're just going to be like, what the fuck is this?
When you open the menu and you're looking for materials, and you're just like, where are these materials? And you're looking for the icon on the map, and then you realise they're all the ways there, and you're like, have you seen the pace I'm going? Like, so wow.
You never get out of the vehicle in this.
You never do, but
avatar as such.
No, there isn't. but that would be hilarious if you could, I think. But if you
so what I mean is like when you change from I don't know
vehicle
like
to vehicle,
yeah, it just done.
yeah, it's
Yeah,
pretty much that, and that's
that makes sense.
kind
It's
of
not
like
that kind of game, is it?
that's kind of what you're supposed to get down the most, I feel, in ways, is like positioning your vehicle. Not like you don't know where to position them at times, but you know, it's handy to have a vehicle kind of spread out everywhere, like on the map. It just makes that a little bit quicker, but I haven't done all that yet.
I will say I downloaded this, and I think what sold me, I have to admit, is that Gaz and I chatted before. I think he just started playing it for review. I think, and I said, "Have you seen this trailer?" And he hadn't, and I was like, I would really strongly urge anyone watching or listening to this to go and look up their like most recent, probably the launch trailer. I forget, but like this, I don't mean to sound shitty, but it sells a game that is not what you're describing.
Oh wow, I must watch
like
this trailer.
The game you're describing is, again, I think maybe Gaz and I had talked about the game, and that's what made me go look up a trailer, and then I was like, wait. What game's he talking about?
Yeah, because you were, when you saw that trailer, you sent me that message about it with the link. You were kind of like, does this have a story?
Why, did they make it out like a fucking Michael Bay game or something?
Yeah, no, it's more like Life is Strange meets The Long Dark, but truck simulator. Like you're connected. I'm sorry, I'm not going to be the one. Adam's already done the Death Stranding thing, but it did sound the story.
Well, I said to you, didn't I? It seemed like a parody. Of like a Death Stranding trailer.
Like they are talking about connecting America, and the voiceover woman says something like, you know, we miss you, but you know, it's what you're doing is so important. You know, as if to say, like, you know, mum and dad aren't, or daughter. It might be, I guess, daughter. Like, you know, I miss you, dad, but you know what you're doing is so important. And I was like, wow, this.
I've met no one else in this game so far. I've met no other NPC. I don't know if they exist.
And this sort of thing,
it's literally just. You go to an area that goes. You
just clean up.
Select a you can select a mission here. Do it. Go. You know, and it's usually just deliver shit. Basically.
I have a real sort of penchant for those. Oh, I don't want to say isolation games because the wording of that is terrible at this sort of time. But you know those games where there's kind of nothing.
Yeah.
Kind of like Death Stranding, like but you know, the Long Dark where it's all cold and you know the travel's hard and but
so like
well, it is partially that game, I guess.
Here's the thing, like I'm playing Snowrunner, like with the I'm not playing this game going, how much longer do I have left to play in this game?
No,
like,
you're chill out game by the sound of it.
It's chill out. I plan a podcast and I just kind of go and I just drive around and that's it. Yeah. You know by just looking at this game for 30 seconds whether you're into it or not, and I'm just currently into it right now. And also the last thing I'd say is it looks pretty good. Visually,
very nice looking game.
Yeah, like the environments are really nice, the lighting's really nice. Who would have thunk that?
Definitely not me.
This year I'll be talking. Like I would go game of the year.
The thing is, mate, that's not going to work anymore. People can see that you're not being sincere.
Game of the year.
Suddenly, it's fine. I just wanted to briefly touch upon a few quick games before we move on. I don't know. I think I have to eat some humble pie.
Oh.
Do you know in the past how I've gone on about... I wouldn't say gone on. That's for you to say, not for me. About Switch. Perfect for Switch.
You always say it.
I always say it. I'm a big fan of that phrase. I am playing nothing but Switch games. I'm playing Switch games that I've already played before. Like, by the time people see or listen to this, Void Bastards is out on Switch.
Mm-hmm.
Indivisible is out on Switch. And on top of that, I'm playing Animal Crossing. I'm playing Mario Maker. I'm playing a game I can't talk about yet on Switch.
Streets of Rage 5.
And Streets of Rage 4 is on Switch. That machine's amazing because as long as you're not one of these people who's like, no, I only like games that look like Call of Duty. I only like games that are like Horizon Zero Dawn, and I love those games too. And the Switch is never going to be able to deliver me a God of War and a Horizon, but like Indivisible on Switch, like this. So I don't know if you guys have followed this. It's been coming for ages. And Chris, you're playing it too, right?
Yeah.
It's been coming for a very long time, and Chris and I spoke. Like, I really think Indivisible is one of the most, and I think Void Bastards a bit too. These two are the most underloved and underappreciated games of last year. Like, Indivisible is just, I love that game so much. It's so interesting and unique and genuinely funny. Like, I love, and also the voice acting is some of the most natural I've heard.
Yeah. Very good. Yeah,
like, it's great, isn't it? And this game was coming to Switch to the point where it was coming to Switch for so long, I forgot it was coming to Switch. And then it just was out on Switch. And apparently the developer didn't know at all. They found out it was out on Switch when it came out on Switch. And it was an old version of the game that was missing features, not the latest version. And so I went into it being like, oh, I don't want to play a bad version of this. It's not. It runs... I mean, Chris, unless it's just me being lucky, it runs perfectly. Like it...
Yeah. No, it's exactly as is.
It's
still, and it still looks amazing.
Oh, I sort of barreled through it because I didn't need to see the text of the early stuff, so I got like quite deep quite quick. So what apparently is missing in one of the features, and I didn't know this had even come to the game. The co-op hasn't been added to the Switch version yet. There's co-op.
There's co-op in it?
What?
Exactly. Okay. So you control... so if Chris and I think it's local only, and obviously it's not on Switch yet, but like you would control specific characters on the battlefield.
Oh, what? This was on the PS4 version?
Not when we played it. Obviously, it was patched in later.
Yeah.
I think with New Game Plus, it was patched in.
Right. Okay.
Way later, all right. So it's not got parity with the other consoles and PC because it hasn't got those versions. But the way I've actually heard rumors that the publisher didn't even know it was going live. Nintendo just it was ready, so there's a bit of confusion. But like, I felt like the thing that came out of this story where the developer was saying, "I didn't even know it was coming, and it's been ported by this studio, and we didn't." I feel like people were thinking, "Ooh, is it going to be?" Absolutely, buy with confidence. Like from what I've played, I haven't finished it.
Yeah,
Chris, you're covering it for the site Switch Report. I would say buy with confidence. I don't know about you.
Oh, 100%. Like if you listen to the Game of the Year pods and if you read the review, you're going to know that we adored it, and it's for good reason. Like it's fun to play. It's beautiful, looks beautiful, hand drawn, and the writing is excellent. Like you sometimes with funny games, they're trying to be funny, but it just doesn't work. Whereas this is quite natural and genuinely makes me laugh. Like there's very few games that are genuinely humorous, and that adds to it. And just the difficulty does progressively get harder, but you're equipped with the right things to be able to take it on. And there's a lot to do for saying it's just like a kind of a... Well, I don't even know the genre because we could never work out what to call it. But
it's an RPG, isn't it?
Side-scrolling RPG,
Metroidvania.
Yeah, bit of that.
Got elements.
It's got a bit of everything, and it's just
got a bit of Snowrunner in there, no?
No.
Yeah, a bit of Snowrunner. Yeah, you travel around this open world map and drop off wood. Yeah, no, but it's ace. So I think if you waiting for a console to play it on, you definitely get on the Switch because it is perfect.
And it is the only issue I have. The only issue I have, and this is not exclusive to Indivisible, it's exclusive to every Switch game I've played on another platform. So I've got a controller actually handily just here for those watching, right? Although it's a bit out of focus. The buttons here, right? The X and the Y here, and the A and the B here. It actually couldn't have picked up a worse controller because it's an Xbox One Elite that's like got clear buttons. I couldn't have picked up a worse controller to show in really well lit room. But obviously on the Switch, they're the other way around, aren't they?
Yeah.
X, B, A, and Y.
Yeah.
Now with Indivisibles, because each button is a character's action on the screen, I can't reprogram my brain. And I was at work, right, walking around and thinking, I've done it. I've worked out a way. Whatever I see on the screen, it's just the opposite. If it's A, it's B. Because my brain is programmed for an Xbox controller style.
Yeah.
And so I thought, I'm done. This is fine. And so instead, when I started playing Indivisible, I'm like, my brain won't it won't remap. And I find that such a weird thing. The other game is Void Bastards on Switch, which is another game I feel like is brilliant and
fantastic.
It's just gone as soon as it was released, and I feel like
I
that happens a lot with Game Pass. You haven't?
No, it's on Game Pass, isn't it? But I
assume it's still on there. Yeah,
it's just one of the many that I need to play at some point, but just never seem to get round to.
Well, the thing is, you don't need to dedicate hours to it. It is very much a game you can start, come back to. It's fine. The only thing I'd say about Switch is the font, if you remember, they used for it, for anyone who played it, is kind of like, I don't think it's Comic Sans, but it is that kind of comic book font.
Right.
And that combined with the sort of white outer frame of the kind of comic framing, like in the menus, is, I mean, I was playing it on TV, and I sort of, my wife's got 20/20 vision, and I sort of said, can you read that? And now we're not in a mansion, you know, we're what I would call the normal distance from the lounge TV, and she was like, she could, but it was kind of
Is it like Dead Rising on the 360 when they first did that, and it was just like, I can't read shit.
But with a non-familiar font. Right. And on top of that, because it's the Switch version, the resolution's a bit lower. So it's I wouldn't say blurry, but it's a little bit lower. And on top of that, I would also say the frame rate is fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's a really good version of a really good game. It's definitely not like, whereas with Streets of Rage I played on Switch, whereas I would say actually that's my preferred way to play it, because it's perfect on Switch. Literally, it is exactly what you want on Switch. Indivisible I find fine, and I think I'm going to probably go through it again on Switch because it's just there. Whereas Void Bastards I found not perfect for Switch as the other twos, but absolutely very good. Like a very good. I'm giving it an 8 out of 10, but not quite there. Chris, anything you want? Oh yeah, there's definitely games you want to talk about, right?
Yeah. So I want to talk about John Wick Hex.
Yeah.
And I've tried really hard in my review to not write John Wick's Hex. It just kept confusing me. So this came out a while ago on PC.
Last year?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was last year.
And whilst I don't have a decent PC enough to play these kind of games, I was pretty gutted because John Wick, the films are fantastic. But the way they've put this into a game is unexpected. So if you don't know what it is, it's a strategy game on a hex grid. It's not just a clever name. And also, the new villain is called Hex.
Oh, Christ, really?
Yeah, voiced by Troy Baker, nonetheless.
Jeez.
Yeah,
well,
I was surprised when I heard his
but
voice.
Fuck.
Yeah. So it's a set of 7 different levels. Each level has different stages in. And you
stages.
God, really, these developers.
Fuckers. And you essentially, it's all about how you utilize your time. So at the top of the screen, there's like a grid. And whenever you do an action, a kind of block of time will appear, and it will tell you how long it took to do that. So, like reloading might take 3 seconds. Firing your handgun, like a bullet from your handgun, might take 0.5 of a second. Calling an elevator will keep coming up gradually in second increments. And on the map, the hexagonal map, you've got enemies coming in from all different directions. You've got certain distances you need to get to be able to get to the part of the map, but then enemies will come in from behind you. And it plays out in gradual stages, like increments. So if you fire your gun, your enemy might move a space. If you wrap your injuries in bandages, your enemies might move a lot faster because it takes longer to use your bandages. So it's all about kind of planning how you tackle each mission and how you kind of go about, like, do you try and get round enemies or do you take them out? How much ammo have you got? What kind of bandages have you got left? So it's quite tricky, but when you kind of pick up the flow of it, it becomes amazing. Like, I genuinely love this game. And like,
it's weird how it does feel like John Wick. Like, even though
absolutely
you wouldn't
does.
expect that kind of strategy thing to be.
No, absolutely.
That's why I don't get it.
Absolutely.
Is that why I don't? Because I played this game on PC when you were reviewing it, I think, Gaz. And I can't. I just really didn't like it. But I've never seen the films. Still.
So here, I know,
so
yeah.
Good. So
we talked about this on the pod.
Yeah,
and I
had it
this
open
was like
before
6
Chris.
months.
Don't worry.
But
like, I just want to quickly say there, like you say that, like Gaz and Chris, you've played it. Like, I know what this looks like. I know that, like, even when you're describing it there, I'm like, okay, it all sounds cool. But I'm a huge John Wick fan myself, and this personally sounds like the John Wick game I would never want.
Right. But everything I knew about the films, and I'm playing this going,
I don't want.
I think you just need to see how it's done, because
yeah.
As I say, when you do pick up how to play, because it does take a while to get used to it all. But like after like the first level even, you're doing things so fast. You're turning the camera around to look at different aspects of the map. You're moving into enemies. You're selecting what you need to do, and it all happens quite fast. Even though it kind of freezes and gives you like, it never rushes you unless you choose. There's a mode you can choose, which is the extradited mode, which you have to kind of do every action within like 7 seconds, I think. But you can, if you don't do that, you can just play it. Take as long as you want, and it gives you time to properly kind of focus on how you want to play it. And then what's really cool is that once you've done the mission, you can then watch back what you did in real time. So it plays out all your actions like a little movie. Right. So that's when it kind of does look like the films. Like it's they're not the best visuals.
Because trying
to be, but it still looks amazing.
Because when we all like seen the Matrix or whatever, and then they release Enter the Matrix, and you're like, holy god, a Matrix game, and then you play it and you go, this feels brilliant at the time. Like it just felt fantastic, exactly what I'd wanted with the Matrix. With John Wick, like, I understand that they have to do something like they're doing in this game, because if they didn't, it would just stand out like it's just a standard shooting action game. Do you know what I mean?
It would, yeah.
Like it's not like he's running up the walls and stuff in John Wick. Do you know?
No, I think you're right. I think if it came out like something like Titanfall, it would just be some generic. Because what can you do with John Wick other than say put bullet time into it or whatever? I just think
put bullet time into it.
Yeah, I just think it's a very smart way to tackle the John Wick films in video game form without doing what everyone expects and just making it into like a third-person action or a Max Payne game or like a first-person like Titanfall. I think it's very unique in itself.
Do you get to ride a horse?
You don't, mate.
No. Fuck it. Don't care.
Why? I don't want to know.
Adam Cook, you're missing out, so that's what you get. All right.
You get to watch a horse kick a man in the head.
Yeah, you hear the horse talk, you feel left out.
Yeah.
There is no point putting horses in games after Red Dead. There's no point.
No, there is. We fucking see John Wick use a horse.
What do you mean use a horse?
Without context, that's.
Say that man has used a horse in ways I never thought would happen.
Watch John Wick slap the back of a horse.
Stop saying use a horse.
I tell you, he used that horse. He used that horse.
No, he rode it, surely. Oh,
no,
he didn't just ride it. No. He did all sorts. You watch yourself. You filth, you are.
I haven't said anything. I'm not the one who's talking about using horses. Thinking.
Chris, let's get back to some serious mature talk, please.
Sorry. Boobs. No. So yeah, John Wick Hex. I think it's a great game. I think people need to play it. But it's very hard to explain if you've never kind of seen the films because there's also
yeah, it's PS4 now. I should have also mentioned, by the way, that Void Bastards is PS4 as well now. Sorry, but I play it on Switch.
Yeah. So
is it just PS4 then? It's not hitting.
No, it's just PS4.
Switch, right?
Yeah, because that'd be good for touchscreen as well.
Yeah,
that'll make it work with touchscreen. Because a lot of it is like when you get further on, there's a lot of enemies in certain situations. Like the second to last level, I had about 5 or 6 bodies just surrounding me, and like when a new enemy approaches, you have to just kind of select them. But there's a lot going on that is quite difficult to select. So with the ability to use the touchscreen would be amazing.
Yeah, I think that's where the PC version works because you just use the mouse.
Absolutely, you've got to pinpoint.
But I can imagine either way because of the pace of the game being like turn-based.
Yeah,
controls aren't quite as big an issue.
Yeah.
So in summation, good game, but add bullet time. Use a horse, put it on Switch. Sorted.
Yeah. And watch the films. There you go.
No. See,
why would you watch the films?
Because why would you keep telling me to? See, I'm one of these, right? The more you go, that's amazing. You've got to do it.
this kind of person. Get out of it. I'll raise my fingers at you.
That's why it took me to, I think, season 5 to start Game of Thrones and being laid up with a back I couldn't even walk on. That I was like, oh, fine, you would. That's why I watched the first series of Breaking Bad like 6 years after it came out.
What's the purpose of it? What is the purpose of that situation in life? Why would you say?
Do you really want to know?
How long are you going to go on for?
It's one sentence.
Go on.
To annoy fuckers like you.
Ah, yeah.
You've got to watch it. You've got to watch it. It's so amazing. It's so amazing. And I am acutely aware that when it comes to a game like the situation, I'm that guy. Like, I was literally talking to a mate last night, and you'll appreciate this. And in fact, you all will, because we talked about it on Game of the Year. Friend of mine, and he actually writes for the site, Sean Smith, is starting Red Dead Redemption 2. And he was saying, like, oh, wow, this is incredible. And I was like, no. It's the only game that gets close to this in production values, and I think eclipses it, is
God of War.
Thank you, Christopher. God of War. And I started saying to him how there is a scene, and again, I'm not going to spoil it. Well, you all know the scene where I felt like the whole game I was going through it going, is this our Kratos? Is this canon? What's going on? And then that canoe scene. And I still, you know, a year or so on, I think that might be one of the best scenes in video game history.
Oh, yeah.
What, when John Wick is on a horse riding down a canoe?
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Because the idea of him being on the horse and the horse is on the canoe.
Yeah,
so
it's
it's riding the
incredible how
horse
he
that's
does.
riding the canoe. It's riding
That's
the
one.
water. It's incredible.
Yeah.
I
Just
don't
watch
even
John
know.
Wick movies, will you?
No, because I'm just
But
want to talk
why?
about God of War more.
I need to replay
I was
God
thinking
of War,
about God of War, man. And that's it. That Gaz,
like
that is
initially, I played it on base PS4 before I got my Pro.
It's okay.
So I'd love to replay it, like 4K HDR.
4K.
I bet it looks.
See, this is the thing. I just was because I don't know why him playing Red Dead made me think of God of War. I think Ad, you mentioned it last week. You mentioned it recently that you were playing it, and again, I'm just like, that game is probably up there. Like it.
Oh my god, it is.
I'm one of these, like, I'm not, I don't like going, it's in my top 10 of all time until I've had a little bit of space, because you need to reflect and go, actually, do I still think of that? Oh, I do. Yeah. I do. It's up there for me.
I think when it comes to that situation, if you go back, like, how old is God of War's 2 years, no? That's why I ended up playing it again. So,
yeah, that's right.
When I went back and started it, and it was blowing my mind even more again, I think that's the deciding factor where the game lands.
Yeah.
If it's doing that after like 2 years anyway, it's definitely more.
I was just thinking about that scene. Like I said, I'm not going to spoil it, with the canoe scene and with the horse.
Yeah.
And I remember genuinely, I think I stood up, like I was off the sofa, and I think I wanted to just go.
Yeah.
Because it was just one of those, like, I need to. Anyway,
I'd love if somebody now listening to this, right, went, I love a good horse, and they went off and played God of War, waiting for a horse in a canoe, and then they just went, that site is a disgrace. They just lied. Fake news.
Chris, I mean, we covered Indivisible, we covered John Wick, Predator. Anything else you want to talk about at all?
No, I'm good. Just more Animal Crossing.
Of course. What is that on camera right now? You can't see it, listeners, but it looks very much like one of the Able systems.
Sable.
Sable.
That's amazing. Who did
My
that?
wife made it. My wife.
Oh,
That's
That's
awesome.
fantastic.
Just a bit of marketing. So if you want some, give us a shout and I'll get her to make them.
She got a Facebook Marketplace page or whatever the kids do these days.
She's just making it because she loves
That's
the
really
character.
cool. That's cool.
Yeah. Other than that, no.
Okay, Gaz. Well, we've covered Snowrunner and that, but a little birdie.
Say it like it's nothing.
Nah, sorry. We've covered Snowrunner : Game of the Year, but we have been waiting, and I suspect it won't be the most lengthy conversation. But you and Adam have also played I want to say game called Daymare 1998.
Yeah.
What did you give it in the end? Was it? I can't remember.
5?
It had a 0.5 in it somewhere.
Yeah, I'll give it a 2 out of 10 anyway.
But it was just.
Is that the official score?
2 out of 10, yeah.
It's a really weird game.
Being 31.
Yeah. I mean, it came out of. I want to say it was initially a fan project of.
Yeah.
Like they were remaking Resident Evil 2, and then Capcom did it anyway.
And there was a 5. Sorry, Gaz, it was 5, exactly 5.
And then I think as a result of Capcom doing it, they went, okay, right, we'll make our own game then. using what they'd kind of already started. And it's too much of a Resident Evil homage kind of thing, because it's just like you've got the same sort of settings, you've got the same kind of story beats, but there's just, you can tell it's low budget, basically, right. Because, I mean, the enemy types, very similar. You know, whereas, like, you think of Resident Evil, you've got, like, the hunters, the lickers, you've got the dogs, you've got the sharks in the first game. You know, there's a lot of weird shit in there as well, whereas these are all just humanoid in some way. You know, it's quite basic.
Not to interrupt you, but Adam looks disgusted. Like he just looks like
he hated this game.
He's biding his time patiently. Fair play. So obviously I had to play it kind of with a review head on as well. Yep. So I had to an open mind. Are you saying? Is that what you're saying?
But it's like there is a lot of good in the game, but I think a lot of it is let down by its execution. It's just, I mean, Adam will definitely back me up on this one. The inventory system is like, it's the worst. It is awful.
Jesus. That's being kind.
It's like, you know how like you had like Resi 4, for example, you had the briefcase thing, didn't you? And you went in, you could got all the stuff you needed, right? It was cool, but it had paused the game. Whereas this doesn't. For some reason, the only way you can manage your inventory is having a thing on your wrist. Like, it made no sense. Because at one point, I think it's just after the first chapter, you get to play as, I think it was called Sam. And initially, he doesn't have this thing on his wrist. He finds one shortly after. So all he can do is use the shotgun that he's got. He can pick up ammo and reload it, but you can't manage an inventory because apparently, you can't without this thing on your wrist. And it makes no sense. And you have to, if you pick up ammo for like a gun that uses clips, you have to manually reload that clip before you can put that in your gun. And it's just like, it made no sense. It's like, this is the sort of thing you'd expect from, like a really deep survival game. Like
Fallout, not 76, you're saying?
Yeah, but something like that, you'd kind of expect that level of detail. But with this, it was just like, are you just trying to say you know how guns work or something? It
felt like when I was playing it that, like, imagine if Capcom were in the office one evening, they were like, go for a couple of pints after work, and like, yeah, all right, so, and you go off and the lads have a big old session. They come in the next morning and old fucking Tom in the corner then is making his game, and you're like, what's happening here, Tom? What's going on here? And he's making Daymare all of a sudden, and it's just like, everything's going wrong. Everything is happening here that's just bad.
You stop that now, Tom. You stop that now.
Yeah. Like, look, I'll be honest, right, the problem here with this kind of game, I can appreciate something trying, like, well, maybe not appreciate, but like, if something wants to be like another thing.
Not really. Don't get carried away. I appreciate it.
But like, all right, it's trying to take the Resident Evil formula. I just feel personally that it's just too early. It's too early to take what is now the Resident Evil formula, pretty much. The new ones, like the remake of 2 and 3. I know you can say, oh, well, Dead Space and all that stuff exists as well, like, but it's really taking the new Resident Evil.
Though, mate. That's the problem. Dead Space doesn't exist. That's the problem.
Yeah, I know, yeah. They're taking the Resident Evil formula of now, and it's just like, with Daymare being out, I'm kind of like, well, if someone said to me, will I play Daymare? And they were like, well, have you played Resi 3 remake? No. I'd be like, oh, Jesus, didn't play Resi 3. It's just out.
It came out on PC end of last year, I think. And then, it's like the console one comes along now. And it's like, you're releasing it less than a month after Resident Evil 3. Yeah. That's not going to go well. Because, I mean, Resident Evil 3 was so high quality. I mean, okay, you have to kind of take into account the difference in budget, because Capcom budget versus, I forget, is it Invader Studios? That it's not going to have anywhere near the budget. But still, you've got to realise you're going up against something that you're aiming to kind of not copy, but pay respect to, and you're never going to succeed.
No, the voice acting's bad.
Oh, the voice acting.
Voice acting is terrible.
It is. I mean, that's where I was kind of looking at and going, you are doing an homage, and it's like, okay, but you're kind of doing an homage to the remakes, but with the voice acting of the originals. You know, it's like that's not the way you do it. Pick one, you know, if you're going to do it. But then it throws in stuff that has come from 7. Like, I forget what they were called, but remember those things you could pick up in 7, like tablets, and it'd show you where items are in the world. Like, so if you were missing ammo or something, or you needed health, you could use one of these, and it'd be like, oh, that's over there. You have like a little icon somewhere.
Yeah,
this does it, and it's exactly the same. Like, you use that, and you're like, really? It's like you have directly ripped that from another game. It's like that's not an homage at that point. That's just taking things from other games, and the story makes no sense.
No, it doesn't. But I think what really suffers in ways with Daymare is like it sold itself as this like homage to like 90s horror and stuff like that, you know. And you're like, all right, that sounds cool, I guess. But like it takes itself seriously, and you're just going, oh, I want it to be. I want it to be all over the top. I want it to be badly written in ways. I want it to have funny voice acting. Like it's just unfortunately bad for me, and I can't get through like the puzzles and stuff alone. I'm just like, oh Jesus Christ! I'm like, whoa.
There are some weird ones. Like there was one that was quite good. It was like there was portraits around of Greek gods, and you had to put in codes on a computer basically based on these Greek gods, but using the Greek alphabet.
Now hang on, Ad's sort of dismissing this. Can't, because Resi does this shit too.
Like, I don't care. Leave Resident Evil alone.
Okay. It was. I think it was a good idea, but it was a little bit long-winded as well, because it's like this. It basically gave you like a little cryptic clue, which the answer would be one of these gods based on like this question, and you'd have to then get up from the computer, go and look through all the portraits with the little like descriptor underneath, and then go back. And then if you'd made a mistake, it's like, okay, right, I'm gonna have to have a look again. And it was just, I think it would have been better or easier if you were just putting in the names rather than having to put them in using the Greek alphabet as well. I mean, it was kind of well done in that next to the computer you had a real typewriter, you know, like with the real sort of layout of a keyboard. So you had a reference, you know, all the Greek alphabet was in there the same way as it is on the QWERTY keyboard kind of thing. But it was just awkward. And a lot of the puzzles in it were awkward like that. And
it's pretty buggy. Like, I had a couple of occasions where I would have a headshot right there, right in front of me, and I'd do it, but it would shoot, and then I'd say there might be 2 seconds go by, and next thing all you see is the blood go poof. Like, you were just right there. Do you know?
The aiming was awful as well. Like,
oh yeah, it was hard.
The aiming, it does the whole thing like what pretty much all shooters do, where you've got the crosshair and it kind of moves in on the dot. You know, obviously for like the accuracy, but sometimes it wouldn't move in quick enough, and sometimes you'd just be like, "This is right on," and yet it's like your bullet would go over here, and you're like, "What? I don't understand. Why am I missing this?" And when ammo is that scarce, the reloading shit is just ridiculous. It's just like, this makes no sense. All of this game makes no sense. Basically.
Well, on that ringing endorsement, should we do some listener correspondence, chaps?
Before Adam explodes, I think.
Yeah, but to be fair, I can see you kind of being drawn into it. Like,
yeah, it was one of like when I reviewed it, I was like, I'm kind of enjoying it, but it's one of those games that when I look back on it, I'm like, I fucking hated it.
Right. Well, I'll cut that. G-Town Steve says he spends a lot of time watching video game related YouTube, Twitch, or Mixer content. Good lad for throwing the Mixer there. Microsoft will prove that. What are the team's thoughts on streamers? Are there any that you consistently watch and recommend? Would the life of a professional streamer be something that you'd consider? Christopher?
No.
Oh, okay.
I don't watch streams. I don't really watch much content outside of this. Also,
yeah.
I just like my kids are obsessed with certain YouTubers.
Yeah.
And I get why, because if I was that young and was watching someone as bubbly and mental as that, then I probably would enjoy it. But I'm too much of a miserable cunt to to like it. But and as far as wanting to do it, no, I haven't got that level of energy. I haven't.
Do you know? I think I've told this on the pod before. Do you remember, Chris, when we went to Hammersmith for the Nintendo Switch reveal?
Yeah.
Do you remember the thing? I think you probably. I don't know. Have I told this on the pod?
I'm not. I know. I think I
think so.
I won't name the
YouTuber.
I won't name the YouTuber, but it was late in the day and we were all a bit tired. And I think we still hadn't played Zelda.
No, I think we were around that area.
Yeah, and the queue was gone because it was late, and we was like, well, we should play Zelda. And we queued up, and we were next in line, and there was a guy in front of us who was just setting up his camera and stuff because he was, like a lot of the media there, they were doing that sort of thing. And I'm going to have to use a prop here for the video. Let's just use this sellotape as a prop. And he was just kind of stood there and he looked miserable. He looked really everyone was tired. We'd all had enough, and it was like, well, we're just getting the content at this point. It's work. It is work at that point. Yeah. And then, so literally, it was like, okay, so Chris and I are in this guy's video. Actually, it's not an easy one to find, but we're in it. And he gets his camera, thusly, and then we're behind him here, and he's like, oh, you can see it. He can see the tiredness, and then it's like. Hi guys! I'm here at Nintendo. And I think if you slow the video down enough, you can literally see him as he spin round. Me and Chris are chatting and just sort of go, what? What the fuck? Just now. I get it. There is an element of a performative nature to that, but I wouldn't want to do that without it being me.
Yeah.
Like the thing about this podcast is that, of course, everyone you can't just be there like that's a fucking because that is a boring podcast and people would not listen to it, and damn right. But if you aren't who you are, I think that would be soul destroying, and I couldn't do it. In terms of ones I watch, I don't watch any streamers. And as if to reinforce the point I've just made, there is one YouTuber. I don't watch many gaming YouTubers. I watch a lot of guitar stuff. And some musician stuff. In terms of gaming, there are two I listen to. One I'm not going to mention because I don't think he's exactly that popular in the scene. It's not PewDiePie or anyone like that. I just know that he sometimes takes the piss out of games media. I just find him quite funny. But the other one I watch is a guy called Ryuka, he's very good at games, and he essentially plays platform games a lot. He does basically up to 5 videos on Mario Maker a day, but he is far better at them than I could ever be. And I find watching him play these insane creations is just really cool. He also does stuff like on really hard games. And it's interesting watching him change because my kids actually were the first people to watch him. And I saw they were watching Mario Maker. I was like, oh, what's that? And I looked it up and thought, oh, yeah, I quite like this. But if you go back sort of a year plus, he used to swear a lot. And now, not at all. Because, of course, the YouTube algorithm is such that bad language is not good for advertising and such. But again, to me, that kind of proves the point of that you have to put yourself out there, but not yourself. And I'm doing inverted commas there for the listeners. So that's me. Gaz, I know you watch is it Markiplier or you used to?
Yeah, I still tend to watch his videos. Not as many because he's one that he started off just doing games and stuff. Then obviously he's got hugely popular.
Oh yeah.
So I mean,
Bethesda bringing unreleased games to his house popular.
Exactly. I'm starting to tire a little sometimes of his he's very over the top sometimes, and I think as I'm getting older, I'm just noticing it more.
Yep.
And he started doing a lot of stuff like live action. I'm making my film kind of thing or whatever. Short stuff, but that stuff I just can't get into.
But that's not what you're there for, is it?
Fun. Okay. No, I mean when he still does horror games and stuff, sometimes that's good fun. And I watch Game Grumps as well. They still make me laugh just because some of it is obviously put on, but a lot of it is just then two of them just sat around playing games, having a laugh together.
Do you? Because these are YouTubers though. No one's.
No,
I feel like the question
streamers.
was no, same, not at all.
Because
no interest in it.
I like because if I'm watching a video and it's oh, this bit's shit, skip past it. You know what I mean? Where,
so I was going to say, I like curated content. I don't like the idea of watching an hour of someone playing what could be a boring section of a game.
Yeah, I mean, even to the point where, because there's been a lot of like the esports stuff at the moment for like motorsport, which I've been watching a lot of.
Yeah.
But I tend not to watch it live because there's a lot of,
well,
like sports,
yeah.
there's a lot of build up and stuff. I'm like,
no, but,
I kind of just want to watch the race.
That's perfect because like the guy I mentioned, Ryukar, which is Ryu, I suppose some people say Ryukar, he does stream, actually, I should say. He does stream. But what you're watching there is a 2-hour stream, say, of him failing one level 100 times before he finishes it. Whereas the video on demand is a 20-minute video of him doing 6 levels, and he knows you don't want to watch that on demand. So like you might die the first time and then you'll see it a second time, but the next time, every time you see that, it skips right to the bit where he's passing that. So you're not repeatedly watching him die, because it's...
That's one thing like Markiplier's started doing, because I think he streams...
What, cutting stuff out, editing?
Yeah, because I think he streams on Twitch, I think, with like a couple of his friends. They play stuff like Monopoly and Uno, and
Gotcha.
I think they kind of treat it almost like a podcast, just having fun and that. But then he'll release on YouTube like a cut down version of that. So it'll just be, say, one game of Uno or one game of Monopoly, that kind of thing. So it's not just like 3 or 4 hours of nonsense basically before anything happens. And I don't mind that. But like I say, like streamers, I very, very rarely watch stream. I think when I watch a stream, it's a stream of something like an E3 conference, that kind of thing.
I mean, every time I have put a stream on, it's kind of been people just saying thanks for the donation, thanks for the donation, thanks for the donation. And
yeah, there's a lot of that.
You know what I mean? And then whatever, people have got to make a living, like, absolutely. But
definitely.
Ad?
Just basically the only thing I'd watch is like GDQ, speedrunner, things like
same,
like that. Yeah. Anytime I've ever, like early days when I tuned into like streamers, and if I ever look into one right now, my brain simply can't handle the chaos. There is emojis flying fucking everywhere. There are people, there's pings, there's like some trance music in the background. There's someone spinning on their chair on the camera for a while going, yeah. And then an animal comes in on the stream and they play with the animal for a bit. And then you're kind of going, I'm here to watch a stream. Bloodborne, what's going on? Like, what's happening? What's the plan here? So there's a lot. There's just too much faffing, too much time wasting for me. I would actually like to do it. Not to that level. I just would like to stream games, but I just go, there's that whole thing in my head going, you're just too late into the game now.
Absolutely.
You know? Like I'm just too late to this party.
It's very difficult because I mean, I streamed for the site a while ago, quite a lot, but it gets to the point like it's great that you've got people watching stuff, but it tends to be only a few, and then you kind of catering to them, but also try to play the game and concentrate on it, and it's quite difficult, and to the point like I couldn't do that all day like some do, and I'm not good enough at games to do that either, because it's like you've got like these big guys playing stuff like Fortnite or Siege or something like that, and it's just like they're really good at these games most of the time.
Compare it to sport, like you said again, like F1. Why do you tune into F1? Why do I tune into football? I want to see Liverpool, Man City's like billion-dollar value players doing things I can't do and most other teams can't do.
Yeah,
the best streamers are unique, and like Ad says, now I would like to do it, but I don't want to be boring, and I need to come up with something.
It's not a boring thing. It's just like I just feel right now. It's like, you know, if there was the way I can describe it, there's a huge party coming on or happening in a room, and all of a sudden someone opens the door and everyone turns and just goes, "Who the fuck are you?" That's just that's just what it feels like. You know, there's just every person under the sun in some way is doing it now.
See, to me, it's the equivalent of in Animal Crossing trying to catch coelacanth, and all you catch is sea bass. There's so many sea bass in that sea. I think what I've been doing recently.
I think one of the best things to do, if I was to ever do it, it would be to find a game that I love, like a franchise. If I was like, do you know what? I'm going to start the entire Uncharted franchise, and I'm going to just talk about that. And if like the way I just target that is not hoping that everyone would watch it. I just hope that people who like Uncharted would watch it. So that's the best way I think of breaking into it in some way.
Next question, Chris. We'll go to you. Are there any brands of any item that you refuse to buy a budget option for? He says, and this is mine, so I'll get it out of the way. His is baked beans, same. Washing up liquid and cheddar cheese. Some things you just don't mess with. Have you got any? Definitely not beans for Fork Off listeners. Chris?
No, fuck that. No. I don't like. I like my bread, so I won't get cheap ass bread.
So what brand are you then? What brand do you go for?
Normally it's Kingsmill 50/50.
I would have gone Hovis.
I don't really buy Hovis.
I would have gone Hovis.
If I'm in Morrison's, when I've been in about twice in the last 2 months, but they've got an amazing bread section, so I'll get some nice bread, like proper bloomer. But if it's like day-to-day bread, it has to be a brand that I like. I can't buy cheap bread.
With bread, do you ever get... The situation we find ourselves in means that fresh bread is something of a luxury at the moment, because you can't get flour. And I, the other day on a Saturday after work, finished, and I just wanted some fresh bread, and I got it.
I've a question.
And that's all I'll say. Yeah.
Kingsmill 50/50 bread.
Yeah.
Is it a pile of marketing bollocks?
I'm a fan.
Or is it a thing in mind where people go, well, it's white and brown, so I don't feel half as bad to having the white slice? Or are you actually tasting the white and the brown?
Oh, mate, this is a podcast to answer that. That's far too complicated for a games podcast.
Listen, people tune in. Listen. All right.
What do you think? You asked it. What do you think?
I think it's pile of marketing bollocks.
Okay.
I just like the taste, so...
Yeah, I quite like a Hovis 50/50, I'm sorry.
Never had a Hovis 50/50.
Oh, well, what brand, Adam? What brand would you not cheap out on?
Pringles.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Honestly, there has been some occasions where people have attempted at Pringles.
Walkers do it.
It's not the one.
I've never seen
Doritos do it now. Doritos stacks, they're called.
There is a crisp. There's an Irish crisp
Audi
here.
do something as
well.
Like
there are own brand ones. Yeah.
There's an Irish crisp here called Tato, obviously, and
I wish the camera was focused on you then.
Yeah, fuck's sake. They released their own ones, and no,
not
the one. The Pring is the main.
Gaz, any brands?
Pringles sausages. Good Richmond sausage.
Okay.
There we go.
I can't say it too. I'm serious in that, like the Richmond sausages are they're really nice. But you can't really say it with a straight face because you're talking about eating sausage.
Nothing wrong with that. I don't know why you'd need to not have a straight face for that.
There's not. If people want to eat sausage, they can eat all the sausage they want.
I eat sausages all the time.
Go for it.
Yeah. Darren at ROTMM says, food related, because you guys never get those. Is there any type of food that you'll only eat with one other food? This could be carnage. For example, he says, I'll only ever eat coleslaw with pizza, knife and fork. Of course, Adam. Put it on a plate with a salad or a burger, and I can't touch it. Pizza plus coleslaw. I like coleslaw, but I must admit, the only time I use a knife and fork with pizza is when I've got a bit of coleslaw. Big fan of it. Is there any food that you'll only eat with another food?
I just want to clarify as well. I love coleslaw and I love pizza, and I'd have them happily together. I have. But I find it weird that you consider it a thing. Like, if I have a pizza, it's like sauce. I want a dipping sauce. I don't think of the next food thing with my pizza. Like, it's weird that you're saying, like, would you not go chips instead?
I don't know how you could say it's weird, given your history.
That's what I got stuck there too.
I'm just saying, no, it's not that it's weird. Like, I just find that out of all the things, like coleslaw is a very, like, if I have a pizza, I do not think of coleslaw. If someone said to me, "Do you want coleslaw?" I'm like, yes, but I don't go, pizza, yum. Do you have coleslaw? No, I'm like, pizza, yum. Do you have sauces? Yeah, cool. Pizza, onion rings. Like, that's where I'm going.
Hang on.
Yes.
Are you saying you dip your pizza in sauce?
I don't think that's that bad. I've known people that's done stuff like that.
Absolutely, all the time. I pour it over. I get cartons, and I'm like,
no, you don't.
I don't know about the pouring.
Absolutely, do it.
Why?
What sauces?
Mayonnaise, sweet chili, and some small bit of ketchup.
You are the poster child for sauce. And I don't mean that in a sort of sexy sauce way.
I want to be buried with all the condiments in my coffin. I just want to
Are you genuinely over sauce over the top of a pizza?
Oh yeah, and then I actually even have more on the side for dipping
Chris
the crust
is
into.
Absolutely.
It's already sufficient in taste.
Fuck it, no,
You
you can
just
get
sully
more.
it.
Like I only ever have like the pizza base is always barbecue. I always take away tomato sauce, so it's a barbecue base, and then I might get sriracha drizzle on top of it, added in.
Hey, thumbs up.
Yeah, and then after that,
fine.
I'll add in like my other.
No, you see, that's where you've just crossed the line.
Nah,
it's too much.
Nah, it's lovely.
What was the question?
What was the question?
Yeah.
Oh, anything you can't have
That you
can't have on its own. You have to have it with a certain food, I think.
Yeah, is there any type of food that you'll only eat with one other food? I mean, beans. I don't think I've ever had beans on their own. They're always with something.
Yeah, I suppose that's it. 'Cause I mean, like for me, it'd be something like tomatoes, because tomatoes on their own are fucking disgusting. There's just no taste to them. But you put them on a nice butter, like a BLT or something. You know, there you go.
I was sitting down at 2:00 this morning watching
You just
Death
bite
Wish,
into a tomato,
watching
just-
Death Wish 2, and I was eating 2 tomatoes. Delicious. But do you know what I would say?
I got nothing for that one.
Do you know what I would say? Because to be honest, I'd eat shit at the bottom of a shoe, I'd say. But like, I would probably pick, and it's only recently I've discovered this, a gherkin, a pickle. I would only go probably 1 slice or 2 in a burger, where it actually goes. What's he saying here now?
Don't read it out. Listen.
I would go a pickle in a burger because it's been in there by mistake sometimes, and I would. This is disgraceful. This is disgraceful. Carry on now, Adam.
Don't know what you're talking about.
A pickle in a burger is okay, but I would never eat that on its own because. Go way out of it.
I can only think of beans.
Why? Why can you only think of beans?
Because beans I've never seen even away from another food.
You never ate beans on its own.
No. Even
Sorry,
beans,
Chris.
like only time I would come closest when it's like beans with sausage. You know the ones you get in a can and the breakfast thing. Like that's it.
They're actually the devil's work. They are.
They're not great, but that's not the.
Not great.
Oh. Okay, next question then. Unless anyone's got another one, Chris.
No.
I see Chris is going a bit pale from all this.
But Chris likes all his foods on his own, don't you? If I remember correctly.
Yeah, I'm
so
a fucking
every food.
weirdo. I'm a weirdo.
Thomas at Llama Fluff 42. With Streets of Rage 4 proving to be a worthy addition to the series, what other classic Mega Drive games would you like to get the sequel treatment?
Street Racer.
Really?
Or Golden Axe.
Golden Axe. You see, now it's paved the way, isn't it?
Golden Axe was really hard. Like, because when they released the Sega Mega Drive collection of like a couple of years ago, like Streets of Rage it's not difficult, but it's a bit tricky. But Golden Axe is really hard. But I'd love to see them do that, like a fantasy world, completely do that over. That'd be amazing. Or Street Racer, which was incredible.
I mean, Sonic.
Nah, I don't want that to be sullied. I prefer it the way it was. With Sonic Mania, at least they kept the aesthetic, like the 16-bit, and that was amazing. I don't want anything else to... Yeah.
Was this on Mega Drive? Robocod, James Pond, Robocod.
Oh, no, that wasn't on it, but that was amazing.
I think they did release it on that. And I think it was initially an Amiga game. But
it's not on there, because I played it the other night. I don't know if it was, because I played it for hours when it came out.
Anyone else got any? I can't think of any.
I would like to get, like, another kind of Castle of Illusion, Mickey Mouse kind of one. Yeah. I think, like, if that got another coat of paint with its, like... Because, do you know what? We don't have enough, like... There's not enough of those kind of games, those Spooky Mansion kind of games.
It made me think... Actually, I was thinking the other day about this, the Epic Mickey games.
Yeah.
Jesus, they were very unusual, those.
Yeah.
The first one was cool. I don't know. I never played the second one.
Gaz, have you got any?
I'd like to see an actually good Micro Machines game.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that one that they released was...
Well, are we not a fan of E3?
I mean, that was good. I mean, the new one, the one that came out...
There was one recently, a year or 2 ago. 3, maybe.
Was that bomb, was it?
It was just alright. It was just fine.
It was just, I don't know what they were thinking with it. It was more or less an online game. And it didn't really work, and they had all that horrible nerf stuff in it, which made no sense. And
oh yeah,
I think if they just made like a pure Micro Machines games like the old ones, I'd be up for that.
Next question, which I just chuckled at because I've read in advance. Thomas also wants to know, what's the funniest thing you've ever misheard? My wife told colleagues that he was into the gaming, which for some reason they heard as into the gay men, which is how rumors start, frankly. I have a similar one, but I can't really say it. Just know that it's similar, and I can't say it. So anyone?
I can't think of any.
Yeah, that's a difficult one.
Misheard.
Well, thank you, Tom, for that.
Let's say thank you and move on.
Yeah.
Picking up on Adam Carroll's point from last week's podcast, can anything be done to bring more positivity to gaming so that more people have an enthusiast mindset? I mean, other than unplug the internet. I was going to bring this question in earlier because it kind of ties into the streamer YouTube thing. In that, one of the problems I have, and the reason I don't watch a lot of it, and this is not pointing fingers at anyone, is that I find it a bit too snarky sometimes. And I feel like that's some sort of weird reaction to just admitting you like games. Like it's almost like, I can't like those games. I've got to fuck games. It's like, I like games. Like, if you're watching this, you can see it shelved behind me that kind of says how much I like games.
I don't think it's very
posters behind me.
It's very difficult to avoid negativity. So I think the only real way is to talk about games with the people your friends and play what you want. But don't listen to people. Just don't listen.
People think saying that you don't be snarky means you can't criticize a game. And if a game's bad, a game's bad. There's nothing any of us can do about that. But
no, you can definitely do that. Like everyone has that's the way we have conversations. But what I'm saying is like it is just in everyone's blood now, it seems, to just immediately go negative over something.
Yeah, it is.
Or it's just not like, if people have nothing to fucking say, if they don't have an opinion, but they just will have an opinion, it's the negative opinion. Like, and I think it's really funny considering when I was talking about all this last time, and you see what's after going on with all The Last of Us right now.
Yeah.
And the way people have acted around that, and like it just proves my point. Like, if I'm honest, it's just people are like pain in the hole. Like, it's just like calm down. Like,
I could do without, when there's a shit ton of like YouTube videos that are all basically, here's what's wrong with this franchise, or here's the way this should have ended, or when it's just really tabloid sensational. It's like the thumbnails are all the same, and it's just like, that shit I could do without, because he's 100% all negative. It's never, this is all the best things of, let's say, God of War, and we've been talking about that. It's just, it'd be like, here's why God of War isn't good enough, or here's why the originals were better, and it's just that sort of thing. That could all fuck off, basically.
Yeah, they even I saw Disney Plus, because it was May the 4th yesterday. Disney Plus launched Rise of Skywalker onto it, and it was like I'm not a
minefield.
I'm not a fan of that movie, but like, Disney Plus just made the new Star Wars game we're going to put it up on stream. You may as well have told somebody that like they're taking away like their house because like the way they carried on. You're just like, just don't. If you didn't like it, just ignore it. There's people out there who do love it. There's my nephew is going to be beaming when he sees this. He's going to be delighted. Like, leave it alone. And that's the problem. That's where, like, I wish they could just like delete these comments constantly, just because it just really annoys me, because I want to see people giving valid points as opposed to going, it's shit. And then they go, right, Skywalker's shit. Actually, do you know what as well? Star Wars is shit in general, the whole thing. You're like, oh my god.
I mean, I genuinely have found that negativity has not vanished, but I mean massively diminished since just not looking at Twitter. Like, I know it sounds like an easy catch-all, but it's been October or November since I last tweeted anything, and I initially felt like I was missing out a bit. I don't anymore. I sort of, whatever the spell it had over me has been broken. Touch wood. But it's such a negative place. It is like whatever the situation, whatever that is, it's just snark and negativity central. And that's not to say that's all it is, but
no. Like, and people can be negative.
There are funny stuff on there too, but
people need to be negative and vent about something cool. But
absolutely, it's just not for me, is what I'm saying. That's why I've taken it. I always equated it to the idea of you go into a pub and it's full of people. Let's say like there's a bloody Nazi rally going on in a pub. I wouldn't go in there and sort of start fights and try and change it because I'm going to get the shit kicked out of me and feel crap. But I certainly wouldn't sit in there and drink in that pub.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And there are other pubs to go to, so I would choose to take myself out of a situation. I am allowed to, like, you know, I don't have to be on Twitter. I would, and if it makes me feel shit and negative about things I like, staying there and being like, no, I'm not wrong, you all must change, is not the way the world works. So taking myself out of that situation and go, I'm going to go over there, I feel better. And that is within my power to do so. And I do find a lot of it comes from there.
I mean, it's good to find like just like for example, like not meaning to pimp us or anything, but our Discord has been brilliant. It's a great little community where we've just been chatting about games. We will shit on stuff, but it's usually like, I don't like this part, I don't like that. I mean, and then we'll just talk about it. And it'll quickly move on to another subject, and we'll just start chatting about other stuff. And it's just, there's a lot of good stuff in there. And I think that's one thing that you can kind of do if you hate all the negativity. I think is if you can find a good positive space where you can just chat
that's
with
the community
people.
thing, isn't it? Like, so that's our little community. And what Twitter is everyone's community, and that's impossible for everyone to get on.
Yeah.
It just doesn't work.
Yeah.
Let's move on to the last question. It's also from Thomas. This is a much more upbeat one and a very simple one. We'll start with you, Chris. What is your favourite non-food? Actually, sorry, another 2 questions left, but this one's a good one. What's your favourite non-food smell from the following options? New car smell, new magazine smell, new game smell, freshly mown grass smell, rain on a hot day smell just before a storm, or petrol smell? A little bit wrong, but you know.
Petrol.
Yeah?
Yeah, man. Petrol.
Okay, well, that's fine. Adam?
Petrol. Sticking my nose in
something about the way you said that. It was just sort of low, deep, you know.
I feel like we've done a really good job up to this point of selling this as a really good thing to watch the video version of, and with that look on his face, I'm out.
Like, there was definitely occasions where I have to say, by the way, that like, if my girlfriend's driving, whatever, and we pull up to the petrol station, she might get out. I'll just end up rolling down the window. I'm like,
well, just proper like dog head out the window.
Getting my fix.
Gaz, any of those float your boat?
I mean, I suppose magazine smell is kind of closest to book smell, because I look like new book smells are a good smell.
For me, it would be as someone who works outside. Wink. Rain on a hot day smell. When it's like excruciatingly hot and then the rain hits the pavement, there is a certain ambiance to the and it just is like, oh god, thank you. It's like
I think I get
don't like
rain
rain
on that weather.
Oh yeah, no, I don't like the rain at all. Like I hate the rain.
You're just like,
but when the rain comes, finding it's just a gentle shower and it cools you down, it's like, that's nice. Are there any bread perverts in the team who give... This is disgraceful, by the way. I'm looking at you, Adam, if you're one of these. Any bread perverts in the team who give bread a good fondle and prod before buying it in the supermarket? Thomas says he likes to give tiger bread a squeeze and sniff. Now, I'm not against a gentle feel of a bread to make sure it's like to the
Yeah, make sure it's soft, you know. It's not
but
like
sniffing it?
dry or anything.
You know... Oh, fucking hell, we're tiger loaf. You know, I guess... No. I'm going to say that if there's a chance anyone does it, it's the bottom left quadrant of this video. But no, I mean, a gentle, and then I might get to my wife. Do you think that feels all right? She's like, yeah, and that's about it.
I'd be inclined to like if I was doing that to a loaf of bread.
You pop it up your bum, don't you? Only the French stick.
Everything goes all there.
No, if I was to do that,
little off the fork off there.
If I was to do that to a loaf of bread, if it wasn't wrapped in like a plastic or something, I would definitely buy it regardless. it would just be like, I really hope this is fresh now, and then I do that and I go, yes, whatever business. What? But you should always go from the back anyway.
Of course you should, mate. Talk off again. Wait, I'm going to forego the obvious jokes about going from the back because you've raised something more important. Mm-hmm. What supermarkets are you going in when they're not in plastic?
Loads, like loads. Like when I say not in plastic, like I'm not grabbing the loaf and just walking up to the fucking till and going, there you go, and leave it go on the conveyor belt and everything on its own. Like, you know, I'm actually like saying like you can get your own bag and like a tongue or something.
Oh yeah, like Audi.
Okay.
Yeah, that job.
That's fine.
Like if you pick up that in your own, you go squeeze, and then put it back. You're like, oh, you dirty bastard.
And the person next to you's going.
Yeah.
Do you know what was terrible though? I remember one time very quickly. There was a loaf of bread. I remember in the supermarket, and it was already in like a plastic bag, and it was tied up and stuff, and it was put on the shelf. And I kind of came along to it and grabbed the top of it to give it the old squeeze to check, and like. It was literally, it must have been just out of the oven, I'd say 30 seconds, because my thumb went right through the plastic into the loaf of bread, stuck straight into it, and I was like, disaster. And I was like, fuck's sake. But I know, it was dead fresh anyway, so I bought
buying
it.
That. Didn't want it, but I'm buying that.
Yeah.
Gary, Chris, either of you do anything odd with bread?
No, like I was like you. It's like I'll give it a little squeeze to make sure it's soft, but that's it.
It's a little pat. If it's a bap,
good loaf.
Little kind of knead on the top, just to make sure it's not hard.
Are you particular about shapes in bread?
Yeah, sometimes.
I like a bloomer, like an oblong with
square
bread.
loaf. An oblong bread. Seems like a perfect note to end the podcast on. Thank you so much for your questions this week. A quick reminder that we have a way for you to support us, which is on a website called patreon.com, and then you put /GodIsAGeek, and you get we just put out some codes for people who are stuck at home with nothing to do. Hopefully entertain them that way. Hopefully entertain you with this podcast, which you will hear or see, up to you entirely, early. You will get it a few days before anyone else does. We have a Patreon exclusive podcast that is not video, but it is about food exclusively, where we rank foods, and you will see this chap Chris and nearly that person Adam Carroll, and I can't actually do it because the way the camera's set up.
Gary's
but
here.
It's
You're
him.
Here.
Yeah. See, not on my screen. But yeah, Adam and Chris are on that, and Nicola is on that, and we discuss foods and we rank them every episode once a fortnight. So it's 2 episodes a month. That's $5. We have multiple tiers. Go and have a look. Patreon.com/GodIsAGeek. If you like this and you're watching the video version, check out the rest of our stuff. That's God is a Geek. So that's youtube.com/GodIsAGeek. And on the socials, we're just, God is a Geek on everything. Gary, thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Christopher, thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Would you mind just slugging a little more of your enormous bottle of juice for us? Is that really?
Gladly.
Wallop it down. I mean, I don't want to. It's terrible
more.
Audio, though.
Oh my god, I did not see that first time round.
See that?
That is humongous. What is it?
I think you were talking like Snowrunner at the time, and just this happened.
And Chris is fucking drinking the fucking orange soda from Keenan and Kel.
Crush from.
See,
Crush
I'm not allowed grapefruit anymore. You see, medication reasons. I will point out before I thank Adam Carroll, but thank you, Adam Carroll. I will point out for the ones watching this, not listening, I have been quite, I would say, moderately distracted the entire time by Chris's over left shoulder, where I'm pretty sure I can see a pack of mini rolls and a can of Foster's.
That's what I just noticed that there a second ago too.
It's been incredibly distracting to me, thinking, how is he sitting there not cracking
into
breakfast? Lovely. On that note, thank you very much. Chris is a chocoholic and alcoholic. Shouldn't joke about things like that, but I've done it and it's there now. Thank you so much for watching, listening, whatever you do on our site. Thank you for doing so, and we'll see you next week or whenever you choose to listen. Bye-bye.